Hello everyone, and welcome to Living by the Law, the podcast discussing fictional worlds and how wondrous and ridiculous they are. My name is Matt, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Jude and Guy. Living by the Law is not currently sponsored. If you'd wish to sponsor us, learn the art of parkour. Map out a brilliant path of jumps and rolls that conveniently spell out your sponsorship offer from above. Your offer will be burned into the earth with your sick moves. We will hear you. We always do.
This episode we discuss Titanfall and Apex Legends, focusing in on the wild, wild west of the space frontier and the wars of the main two Titanfall games. This episode idea was suggested by Matrix. Thank you so much for supporting the program. This episode contains spoilers for both Titanfall 1 and 2, including the plot of the second game's campaign. I am concerned, boys. Something in my computer has gone rogue because I don't know where the Call of Duty Zombies script went. I've lost it.
That's amazing.
I have an early draft of it, but I didn't delete it. I never delete anything. I'm a data hoarder. I've got like 16 terabytes of storage on this PC, but it's gone.
Honestly, good riddance.
Probably deleted itself.
How did remember there was like a month between the recordings, so maybe something happened in that month that like had some bad effects.
But I had the second half of the script by the end of it, so something must have happened after the end of the second recording.
Maybe went to a primal rage and deleted it because you never want that memory to come
I probably blacked out at the end of it. I wouldn't be surprised.
I reckon just one night you were fucked up and you actually went onto the computer and were just like,
That wouldn't surprise me. God damn.
You know what is like a bit crazy that I think about at night?
Crazy?
I was crazy once.
No, we're not doing this.
No, we're definitely not doing this.
What makes me crazy a little bit is thinking about the kids in Narnia living 15 years in a magical world where they finished growing up their childhood and they became adults, kings and queens of a nation. And then, after 15 years, getting transported back from an adult body back to a child and having to live the rest of your life in war-torn England. After living in what is known as the golden age of Narnia, where everything is peaceful and nice and best.
Everything's peaceful, nice and best. I remember that.
Not even that. Like, sorry, I chose a really bad time to eat a piece of chocolate.
Yeah, you went for it.
that crunch.
I thought I was the one who's supposed to have snacks in this podcast. You can't eat chocolate.
You win some, you lose some. But even there's like two lines of dialogue in the second movie that touch on it. When Edmund makes a comment to Peter, being like, because they try to step in with some bullies because they used to be like big mighty warrior kings and stuff, and then Edmund tries to step to some bullies and then they just fucking deck him and he's like, damn, I'm a 6-year-old again.
My magic powers.
To be fair, you think he learned some fighting skills over the years. Maybe he was good with the sword and he didn't have a sword on him, but he learned a bit of like...
but also like, it doesn't matter how much fighting skills you got. If you get put back into the body of a 7-year-old and try to fight a bunch of like adults, what the fuck do you think's gonna happen?
He's not 7, he's like 14. But yeah, I get
still, the point stands.
No,
Speaking of fighting skills, today I'd like to cover a little topic that I don't think either of you know is close to my heart.
World War One. So back to Narnia.
That would be very surprising.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
No,
He
I
went
will
have
be
a little
covering
trip.
the lore of the universe behind the games Titanfall, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends, which is a shared universe. All created by Respawn Entertainment, published by EA. Titanfall released in 2014. Titanfall 2 released in 2016, and Apex Legends released in 2019. So consecutive games from this studio. If you don't know, Titanfall was a Call of Duty-esque but futuristic shooter. Titanfall 2 followed up, but also had a single-player campaign, which, this is the thing I don't think either of you know. Titanfall 2 is one of my top 5 favorite games of all fucking time. It is such a good game.
There you go.
I've never heard this opinion out of you at all.
It's a good fucking game. If you guys like movement shooters are banging.
I'd like to point out, for the listeners, I am pretty open about my topics. I'm pretty open, I'm pretty clear. Some episodes when I'm like I've written like a quarter or half a script, I don't make it very clear. These guys like to be very secretive what they do. I want to let you know, I have 4 tabs in my many tabs of different lore pages I have. I have 4 tabs of Titanfall lore open right now, just happen to be in the background.
I'm so
because
sorry.
I've already written like a quarter of an episode on Titan. Not a quarter.
Well,
it was like,
I've written a whole episode.
here we go, baby. I'm so excited.
So this
You
is why
already know about it then.
I used to be
Excellent.
very open with mine, but then I realized that there was absolutely zero chance of you guys ever doing the topics that I was doing at the time.
Yeah,
so
I should
like,
probably tell Matt that. Oh, well.
Yeah, Jude, we kind of stay away from your lore. We let you do your thing in your little corner.
There's too much reading involved in your ones. It's too dense.
yeah.
The other game in the series, Apex Legends, is a battle royale shooter which came out after the battle royale phase and is still one of the best regarded battle royale shooters in the group, having a focus on lots of movement shooting. It's very fun, very very fluid. But yes, in Titanfall 1 and 2, which are the games I'll be covering today, the essential selling point is that you are playing a movement shooter as a pilot, as a human soldier, piloting Titans, which are these massive fucking mechs. For this episode, a lot of the lore that was establishing the universe and the first sort of companies and groups involved will be very much Titanfall lore, as Apex Legends takes place past that. There are some overlaps, which I'll touch, but it's going to be much more of a first episode out of a bunch. Which,
Sure.
Matt, you can do the second episode. I don't give a shit.
I'm good.
Pretty
I'll
funny, actually.
leave you have it. I think I want to do some other stuff with mechs, but
Yeah,
that's maybe
the
a
other
little,
thing...
little hint.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. It's so cool.
Forewarning for velocity of this episode, the lore goes from like 300 years sort of density to like 100 years sort of density down to 10 years sort of density to the entirety of Titanfall 2 taking place in sub 1 day. So it gets pretty dense. But we can begin with the timeline. Oh, you know I love my timeline episodes. Hammond Robotics was founded by Dr. Heinrich Hammond, which I'm sure is a character with no connotations. There's actually no lore on him. I just hear the name Heinrich and get scared. In 2131. Originally, your very typical run-of-the-mill, one-of-a-kind market-cornering planetary surveying natural resource extraction company. You know? Mm-hmm. At some point slightly before 2146, so 2146, either Hammond Robotics or some other company that would eventually merge with Hammond began creating Titans, a large mechanical exosuit which was used for a number of purposes, but primarily at the time for mineral extraction and military applications. We don't know a lot of specifics about this time period, but the proliferation of Titan suits and their increased usage massively increased demand for Hammond Robotics materials, which they were mining, which was essentially for suit creation. These started off very similar to the mechanical exosuits that we're kind of seeing coming out of the military now. Those sort of big clunky suits that assist you in lifting things.
Are they kind of like yeah, I was gonna say, are they kind of like the big one you see in like the Alien franchise, or are they kind of like the mecha, the suits they have in Iron Man 2 that like hurts sprains someone's back?
Kind of.
That doesn't. That's not sprained back, man. That
It's
was a full
broken.
180.
That guy's dead.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It's kind of in between the two. It's mentioned that they started off very similar to the exosuits that we have today. Obviously, Matt, you're aware that they end up different, but we'll get to that. Beginning with the acquisition of the Titan suits and a bunch of other things, those Hammond Robotics or whatever other group is making the Titan suits, plus, quote, a number of a century of acquisitions, mergers, and rebrands led to the creation of the IMC, the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, a titanic mega corporation that essentially owned the entire solar system to a by and large degree.
The YMCA.
And we're sued.
And we're sued, and we're gone. That's a copyright claim right there. I'm so sorry. But anyway, this all takes place well before the story of either game takes place, but it's interesting to note that the developers are predicting that by 2131 we'll have interplanetary mining, industrial-suited mech armor, and entire planetary surveilling capabilities. Only 108 years away, so that's optimistic. The next known dates that we actually have are more than 300 years ahead of this point, but there are a couple of topic things to discuss in between. Sometime in between, the jump drive is invented. I think any nerd worth their salt can probably guess what that little fucker does.
Does it give you a jump boost?
It does give you a jump boost. It does let you mid-air double jump, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Awesome.
But
Keen
it
for
is
that patch, man.
for spaceships, for incredibly long distance travel, folding, quote, time and space, as you'd expect. Although the specifics of this drive, outside of other versions of this, are that its range is actually quite limited. A lot of travel will involve multiple chained jumps back to back to back, as well as a period of recharging and a very specialized fuel. This means that if you're stranded after a jump, you're kind of fucked. Jumping directly into a battle is very ill-advised, among other things. The recharge time and fuel requirements are dictated by the size of the ship, though, meaning that small ships can make some series of very small, quick jumps. The best example of which is we actually see in Apex Legends, weirdly enough. When you die and someone revives you, a jump ship spawns into the arena, drops off the player, and then fucks off again. Which are literally 10 seconds apart, so smallish. By my understanding of that, therefore, the jump ships go like that.
I think that's really interesting. I was listening to a physics video the other day about how you can theoretically fold time and space, and also not only make it shorter. Most fiction makes it shorter in science fiction, but making it longer to keep someone away from you, or a type of shield that expands space so that the thing loses momentum slowly or doesn't get to you so you can dodge.
That's fun. I think a lot of default fantasy would probably go towards gravity riding if I was thinking about slowing stuff down, but space expansion's kind of fun. I like that idea.
It's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. You can make long distance travel this way. The only downside being that because a lot of these paths have to be very predefined, you are very much at risk of getting space pirated, because they can just hang out wherever the slowdown period is and just wait for a ship to jump and then beat the fuck out of them. Anyway, the discovery of jump drives allow for the exploration of space and create the two regions that are most relevant to the lore: the core systems, which is Earth and its surrounds, and the frontier. The frontier essentially is a surprisingly dense set of planets in neighboring solar systems. So you have, our solar system, sun plus planets. But the only thing that you need for interplanetary travel in this thing is one habitable planet, because you can jump to the habitable planet, hang out there, and shoot off terraforming to the other planets. So the fact that the frontier is a set of systems that are all jumpable between and all have habitable planets next to each other is very surprising, and the circumstances of how that came about is unknown. But it essentially means, hey, we found a pocket of area where we can send people to make a stable colony while also being able to expand over a number of systems. Pretty cool. This is the IMC doing this expansion, of course. This isn't all of humanity. We wouldn't be doing anything without corporate interests.
Yeah, so this is all done by a private corporate organization.
Yeah, the IMC. They'll be coming up a lot. They are very, very integral to the story.
So
after a few
sounding more and more realistic, honestly.
Yeah, I can't imagine this could go wrong in any way, and
I'm really surprised that this
people.
was published underneath EA, to be honest, because I feel like this, a lot of this is very explicitly, well, not explicitly, but underhandedly anti-capitalist. I was very surprised that a lot of it,
that's interesting. Yeah,
comes through EA. Just a tidbit, just a thought I was having while I was writing this.
I mean, but any big AAA game that criticizes capitalism, for example, Fallout, it's a big company like Bethesda, and it has a pretty clear.
I mean, EA criticism. Though specifically, the loot box shit.
EA compared to Bethesda's pretty big.
Yeah,
jump.
EA has a bad reputation for it. That is true.
Anyway, after a few decades of exploration, the IMC trying to pitch this to their shareholders, going, "Hey guys, cool planets out here. There's some resources and shit." Due to both conflict back on Earth, as well as a lack of interest from their shareholders, I found that fucking hilarious. They withdrew from the system.
Yeah, exactly.
This left
if the shareholders don't want to do anything, why continue?
Yeah.
What about the people that? Oh no, it's not an interest.
Yeah, this left a power vacuum, although it seems that there was a lot of technology left out there, leading to the possibility that the IMC did keep some forces out there. It's not specific, but also there's like terraforming and mining and other shit taking place, so there has to be some amount of technology out there. How that happens, who knows? Another big influence, though, about this newly created colony was the IMC GI Bill, which gave mercenaries that had worked for the IMC in the core systems, let's go, loans to start businesses and farms on the frontier, low-cost mortgages, and guaranteed property rights on frontier worlds to start new lives.
So we got our 10-pound bombs, but in space.
Can't see this going wrong.
This led to the inhabitants of the frontier being much more combat ready than other groups might have been, which explains like the proliferation of space pirates and also the eventual things that happen later.
It's also interesting to see they're like kind of like a mate, not like it's kind of like an artificially made indigenous people, and then you're making colonizers to go get them and take their land. It's like what's the name? It's called like gentrification.
No. Sorry. I should clarify. The IMC GI Bill are the initial inhabitants.
Yeah, but
they are the frontiermen.
Even though there's new people who moved there and now living there, and now the other people are going like, "Hey, you can have this land." Screw the people already
as far as I understand, they moved out there together. The colonization comes later. Don't worry, it's still in here. But this particular part, as far as I understand, it's like a series of it's a series of planets. They've got a lot of people heading out there, but there's a lot of space.
That's my bad. I thought they were. It's like, is it kind of like? I mean, this is still colonization, but kind of like the old Western expansion over America. You know, they just.
Yes, but there's no one there.
Yeah.
The planets are uninhabited apart from animals and plants. At least the native ones.
Yeah.
So that's a period from sometime in 2131 up onto the next date of an invention that we're aware of, which is explicit, which is 2445. So that's, give or take, about 314 years.
I reckon I can make that.
So over that period, IMC went from Hammond Robotics to the IMC mega corporation to expanding to the frontier through the jump drive to putting its citizens there to withdrawing due to conflict. So lots happened. It's 300 years. It's not that surprising. So the reason that we're focusing on this date is because of a new invention, which I think is the last major invention that we come across that is made by humans on this timeline. Sorry, I've put a note here that says, this is the last known date on the timeline, 2445, which is 314 years past the date of creation, past the creation of Hammond Robotics. This would make it the same age as Afghanistan is today. I don't know why I decided on that. I guess it's hard to find things that are exactly 314 years old, but anyway.
I do like your little point in there. I've only researched this a little bit. I didn't research this fully, but I like your little point in there. Created by humans.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
Don't worry about it. You haven't played Titanfall 2.
Shout out to all our Afghanistan listeners. Haha.
I hope there is some. Anyway.
I hope so. Matt, you watch the demographics. Do we have any Afghanistan listeners?
Keep going. Give me a sec.
Okay. I'll talk about the invention. The Simulacrum program is the digitization of key parts of a human's memories, knowledge, and personality in an attempt to make a robotic version of them that can live on. This goes terribly at first, with each simulacrum that wakes up, that sees itself having a complete mental breakdown for clear and obvious reasons.
I see.
If I woke up and had no dick, I too would have a mental breakdown.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't worry, though. The IMC has got it figured out. They put in two... okay, I wrote here they have two things. There's one thing officially and one thing that I'm making up because it's funny. The first thing is an ego retention system, which is a on-the-go censoring system causing all inputs that would make the simulacrum fucking go goo-goo gaga just censored, including the word simulacrum, which is replaced with pilot, as well as far as I understand, seeing their own body, because seeing that you're not human would do that. There are also some things which are later in the lore which say that there are simulacrums who, like, they'll eat, quote-unquote. Like, they have coffee and bacon in their kitchen, which is confusing. Do they just, like, pour it on themselves? Is there a hole? I don't know.
Yeah, do they just kind of chug it, or, like...
I have no idea.
It's for the guests, you know. Yeah, I don't drink tea at all, but I have tea in my cupboard for when my mum comes over. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they just kind of forget they haven't had breakfast, maybe. Because I do that all the time.
I do also do that a lot.
It's sounding more reasonable. At the time, I was like, what the fuck? But no, this makes sense,
That's
actually.
fair.
You seen the Barbie movie? They fake making it and fake eating it, you know?
Quite possibly. The second, to me, much more questionable, and to be clear, completely unsupported by anything other than my own headcanon, method of stopping breakdowns is to have the body of the simulacrum vaguely resemble the body that the pilot once had. Because that's the only way I can explain why female presenting simulacrums have, to quote the wiki, a more pronounced bust.
Fuck yeah, they do.
They gave the robot tits. Let's go. Who knows? Why else would they do it? There's no other reason. They have a program in your head that makes you see as something else, but maybe, I don't know. Fucking whatever.
If you have the chance to make robots that have that look like the prime... I don't know. I'm trying to...
Think carefully. What are you about to say?
I can't justify this.
You can't, no.
I can't. It's... God.
No, it's fine. Another slightly weird thing in my perception is that simulacrums, a cute thing simulacrums do is they decorate their body with like trinkets, and some of them have like hair. I don't know what it's fucking made of. They also wear like clothes and stuff like that. I don't know how that reconciles with them not being able to see that they are a robot, because putting hair and stuff on would involve like some sort of a fixing, which is a very different process if you're a human or a robot.
Why wouldn't you just
I don't know.
Human hair, you know, like how people make like wigs and stuff out of real human hair.
Yeah, but they don't. They have like rat tails.
Rat tails that are made of hair, or
yes.
Yeah, that's fine. What's wrong with that?
Because there's not the rest of it. Why have they put specifically two little things on them? If they were wearing a wig, I'd get it. But like, my headcanon is that the writers were just out of the room while the designers were working on the designs.
I can see that.
They came back and they're like, hey boss, we've got 4 weeks worth of model design. They got the cute simulacrums. And they're like, fuck. Whatever, ship it.
Guy, it's our job to justify it and make it work in law. It's not our job to...
I'm not justifying this. I'm not doing their work for them.
No, make it up for them. That's what we do.
Yeah. There's a couple of simulacrums that are aware that they're robots, which are very interesting specifics. The first is Revenant, who is a playable character from Apex Legends, who is an assassin for one of the many mercenary groups on the frontier, the Mercenary Syndicate. Great name. This group reappears later as one of the groups who help run Apex Legends tournaments. I'll get to that later, but it's interesting. He was originally a human named Caleb Cross, who was happily assassinating people before somehow murdering man's entire family and then leaving him alive went wrong. I don't know how that could go wrong. And the man came back to kill him and drown him.
No, you're right. I can't see any ways for it.
I don't know. The
Honestly,
Syndicate came back for Caleb's Oh, sorry, Matt.
No, it's just that's he's just making a hero. You know, he's just...
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to be the villain to make a hero rise. You know what I mean?
I got bad news for you, man. The Syndicate then comes back for Caleb's body and kills him, the guy who killed him. So he doesn't get far.
He had a bad ending. You know, you can't be the hero.
Terrible ending.
That's the movie cut before that. You know.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
This is the second movie.
And by the way,
this is like the movie cutting when Franz Ferdinand's nearly driving away successfully and the first person fails to hit him and he's driving off. It'd be like if the movie just ended there, you know?
Don't worry about it. He made it. Oh, Jesus.
I'd like to note, by the way, I can't see any Afghanistan viewers in our analytics. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means there's such a low percentage that they
might be using a VPN. It's okay.
Or they're using a VPN.
Well, if you are, turn off your VPN. Let us see you.
No,
I am
VPN. Keep it.
If you have a reason to have the VPN on, keep the VPN on.
Just turn it off for like 2 seconds. Just give us that listen.
Must be it. Just send us a message. You know.
Anyway, somehow Caleb's brain and head were preserved.
Because why not?
It's kind of implied. I don't know about this. The continuous operation of a human brain requires the systems of the rest of the body to function. You need oxygenated blood, you need food, because you need electricity going through it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to work. Somehow they keep the brain working. they refer to the guy's source code at one point, which I'm fucking annoyed about that, because that's stupid. Why would you refer to a consciousness of a human being as Caleb's source code, you fucking wankers?
Interesting.
Hey, guy, it's been like, what, 400 years?
It's fine.
We know what medicine can do. Imagine
that's true.
Look at 400 years into our past and see what medicine could do. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, they were onto something with humors, man.
Medicine's gone fucking insane. You know what I mean? I also like to imagine the source code is just the little ones and zeros in my head, guy. I like to think. I think you don't think in ones and zeros. That's my source
into
code.
my head, and you got the clapping monkey from The Simpsons.
Bing bong bong, bing bing bong,
bing bong bong, bing bong bing bong.
Anyway, after this, they eventually managed to upload him to a robot. I'm going to do a tangent here that is not necessary. Neither of you need to listen to this. This is for my own vindication. This either happened in 2420 or 2445. Both dates are supported by different statements from characters from canon lore. If anyone really cares, the difference is that in Pathfinder's Quest, the art and lore book, which is set in 2733, he says that he has been a robot for 313 years, giving us 2420. However, in Apex Legends, there is a transition screen which has a quote from him, which says that while there was indeed a simulacrum upload in 2420, he is 288 years old, which gives us 2445. Maybe there's two of him running around? I don't know. I have found no reference to this discrepancy online, and it's driving me fucking nuts, because there's lore communities out there, there's a wiki, there's a bunch of other shit.
What's the gap between it?
25 years.
How old was the guy when he died?
44.
Okay, that doesn't work.
See? I've been looking at this all afternoon. This is one of the last parts I need to finish with my script, and I was staring at it, going through wiki pages and Reddit discussions. I couldn't even figure out what the fucking loading screen was called for a good hour. This is how I waste this is my personal script writing failure, is that I get stuck on specific details, and I can't let them go.
It's the old id brain kicking in, right?
It's fine. I had to find a YouTube channel of a guy reading the lore book so that I could skim through it to find it, because I didn't want to pirate the book. I didn't want to, but I wasn't going to buy it either. So anyway, what the fuck?
This is the pain of a timeline episode of a series that kind of doesn't really care about their lore, but they have it in the background for people who like it. It's trying to get accurate information when the game is not about lore at all is so difficult.
It's so, because that's the thing. For me, it's so easy to just hold my nose and just assume that everything on the wiki is at least pretty right. If I find some contradicting evidence that I can see source for, I'll edit. But when it gets to dates, like, there's numbers, baby. I can do the math. But thanks to Kev the King 99-YT for uploading the entire fucking book as a red thing.
What an absolute G.
Absolute G.
I have problems with stuff that directly contradicts it, especially when there's like adaptations that have different answers for the same question. And I'm just like, you motherfuckers, you didn't have to change that. You didn't do it. You purposely went out of your fucking way to make my life hard. You don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. I can find who you are. But you made my life living hell.
I can find you. I will kill you.
No. We will not. No death. We will not find you. We will not kill you. We just will slightly resent you over the internet.
He became an assassin for the next, give or take, 300 years, 250 years ish. Actually, no, 300. Anyway,
was he good at it? Was he good?
Yes, extremely good. That's the reason that they put him in the robot body. So
why isn't everyone dead? If he's that good, if he's operating for that long, he should have had better results.
Not everyone needs to. Anyway, I don't know whether this was the Mercenary Syndicate or IMC, or if the Mercenary Syndicate stole IMC's prototype technology or what. Doesn't particularly matter. Whatever. Anyway, he first became aware of himself as a robot in the 2700s, much later in our timeline. I'm pretty sure that's past most of the events of the rest of this lore. But essentially, his ego retention system was damaged. He then had all of his memories from his previous deaths instantly transferred to him, unsurprisingly leading to a complete mental breakdown. However, it culminated in him basically just swearing an oath of revenge against Hammond Robotics, to which he then just fucking murders everyone involved in creating him. Which, it's like 300 years later. I don't know who he's blaming for that, but anyway.
Your great grandpa did this thing to me.
It's great. Anyway,
honestly based.
Another
Yeah,
side note is that he did have a cult following him at one point in the 2560s. It's mentioned at one point, thought I'd put it here. The other self-aware simulacrum is Ash, who is the only character that appears in... One of the only characters that appears in both Apex and Titanfall. In the former as an NPC and playable... in the former... No, it's not playable. Oh, no, I was right. Apex. In Apex, she appears as an NPC, and then later on, she became one of the legends. And in Apex, she appears as the antagonist in Titanfall 2.
You said Apex twice.
You said
Sorry.
yeah.
The second one was Titanfall 2. I'm so sorry. Anyway.
Can I just ask now real quick?
Yes.
Feel free to say no if it needs to be said later for spoilers' sake, but timeline-wise, where does Apex fall amongst Titanfall? Is it like Titanfall, Apex, Titanfall 2, or is it both Titanfalls and Apex? Or is
Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, 15 years-ish. 20... actually, it's not quite right. Like 30 years? I have it written down further down, but like it's after Titanfall 2.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, she
Also,
was once a recent... Oh, yeah, go.
Can I just say every single like shoot 'em up has an Ash? Can I like every? I feel like there's an Ash.
It's Overwatch and this. Name another Ash.
There's one in League of Legends.
You're so right,
that
actually.
a
Never
shooter?
mind. Also, it's not a shooter,
Okay.
it's a MOBA.
Shut up! Every single like big online game
Rainbow
that
Six
comes
Siege,
big, you
remember
got to have a
100%
character
sure?
named Ash.
And
Look me in the
Rainbow Six
eyes.
Siege?
That's true.
Remember,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can-
everything has a fucking Ash.
Look me in the eye and tell me that Ash isn't a cool fucking name.
You're not looking at the camera, so could you?
I know I'm not. I'm looking at the thing over there because I have to change my setup so I can record OBS.
Yeah, Ash is a cool name, but okay, now he's looking.
But you know what they say about Ash though. Ash wanted to be the very best.
That no one ever
Oh,
was.
fuck's sake.
And he's fucking dead. He was a 10-year-old boy for 60 years, and it finally caught up for him.
Yeah.
He died.
No, he got hit by a Machamp.
I never watched the end of that fucking that show. I should have. Oh well. Seems like it got good towards the end.
He became the very best.
He did, and then he retired, and he lived
Sports.
happily ever after at the age of 14.
Spoilers.
Back to my shit. Ash appears to be self-aware out of choice, as she was mortally wounded and then requested to be transferred into a simulacrum. But luckily, there doesn't seem to be too much issue with her mental stability. She has a split personality, but it's like a minor hold-up.
Okay.
I love that.
Because
That's
because the other guy finds out, and every other simulacrum finds out, like just self-destructs, goes catatonic.
Yep.
The other guy found out, became a psychopath. Not that he wasn't already a psychopath. He was already.
Thank you. I was about to say that. He literally killed people for the job.
I'm self-citing, baby. I already know what you're gonna say.
Hey, it doesn't mean he's a psychopath, just a professional, you know?
So for her to be a split personality between her human self, which was very kind and caring, and her researcher personality, if you could call it that, where she's cold and calculating, she's fared pretty well as far as self-aware robotics go. The first guy becomes self-aware of himself and realizes he doesn't have a mouth, which that triggered a little bit of existential horror in me when I read it.
Oh god, that is horrifying. Fuck
He
that.
goes, I don't have a tongue. Wait a sec, I don't have a mouth. It's like, ooh,
Yeah, fuck that.
poor
Yeah, that's
boy.
fucked. I don't like that. I don't like that.
like
at
it
all.
either.
So do all the simulacrums, so is it just they might be born without random things, the simulacrums, or?
No, they're robots.
Oh, sorry, yeah, right, of course, yeah.
It's a human uploaded to a robot. Most of them aren't self-aware that they
Right.
are robots. Only these two are. As far as I'm aware, there might be more, but they haven't told us about them.
But like,
Like,
do they all,
hold
do
on,
they
that's a
all not have
stupid
mouths?
fucking qualification to make. Can I say, why would I say that? That's a stupid qualification to make. There's only two, as far as we know. There might be more out there, but we haven't been told about it. No shit. Oh, anyway, don't worry about it.
Can I step in? When you say robots, like, do they all not have mouths? Are you saying, are they blank slates? Are they block-like? Like, describe. what they
They're
look
all
like without it.
vaguely humanoid because they have to be able to convincingly mimic the human form to be able to keep up the thing.
Yeah.
But they
But
don't
in
have
terms
eyes.
of-
They don't have mouths. They don't have.
No, usually they're just block. Think like no, Iron Man suit's not quite right. Think is it an? I'm thinking of the wrong thing. What's the fuck droids out of fucking Star Wars? The like
Oh,
pointy
battle
face
droids.
guys.
Oh,
Battle droids.
Roger. Battle droids.
Roger, yeah, him.
Yeah, B1 Battle Droid.
B1
Okay.
battle droid. Think B1 battle droid, but slightly flatter, kind of along those lines.
Interesting.
Oh, how about the iRobot robots, but without the face on them?
If you're thinking about Pathfinder from Apex Legends, those are Marvins, MRVNs, which
I'm
are
just
mobile.
thinking of trying to compare something.
iRobot, you know the Will Smith movie?
iRobot, the Will Smith
I've
movie.
never watched iMovie.
Ah.
Oh,
iRobot. Shut the fuck up. iMovie's a thing too. I'm not wrong.
It's an app.
No, I've never watched iRobot. I don't know what they look like.
Okay,
Actually,
well, okay,
no,
good,
I do
'cause I-
because there's that Will Smith meme. No, I
Yeah.
do know what they look like. No face.
Okay.
They're very
Some
bad.
of the
They're horrible.
imagery that you'll see of specifically Ash and Spectre, I think his name is. No, I don't know what his name is. The assassin changed his name once he became a simulacrum. I didn't write the name down. I don't remember it. But they both have masks on. I think that's out of choice because they're self-aware. I don't know if the rest do. I've seen art with them not having it. Maybe they put it on so that they can... Because they follow most of their normal routines. So if you go down the market and see like a robot with a face versus a robot with no face, maybe it makes you treat them more like a person. I don't know.
Oh, so that thing on Ash's face is a mask. That's
a
horrifying.
mask. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't
I
like
think
it.
it's part of a... Because she is a researcher and also self-aware, she might have built a custom faceplate, but by default, no faceplate.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway, back to the timeline, baby. Back to the timeline. Sometime after this and the withdrawal, give it 200 years, Earth and the core system is fucked. This could be because of conflict, lack of resources, the atmosphere's fucked. It's likely the former two, resources and conflict, because it's mentioned that the Earth is, like, smoggy and shit, but also terraforming's possible in this universe, so I suppose it's just because of resources and conflict.
Doesn't a lot of, I mean, it depends on like if terraforming makes the planet very you know, terraforming is hard to do when the planet
you're
has
right.
people on it,
Terraforming can make it inhabitable for a short while.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to become habitable wild. And if you did that on Earth, everyone would fucking die. That would
Yeah,
fuck
but
up.
they have other planets they can go to. Just fuck off. Terraforming in this takes 60 to 100 years. Just fuck off to another planet for a couple of years.
just move fucking every single person on the planet somewhere. for a
If it's
little bit.
already uninhabitable.
I mean, that's true. It's probably conflict,
move
though,
the
knowing
ones-
the human race.
Move the ones with money to afford the tickets. Sorry.
Of course. The IMC shareholders, obviously.
Yeah.
However,
Oh, one of my favorite shorts from Love, Death and Robots, if you ever watched it,
Yes.
is there's a one where 3 robots explore the Earth after
They're so
everyone
good.
left.
Yeah,
And it's-
yeah.
Anyone get a chance on Netflix? It's so funny. It's 3 robots,
Yeah.
all have different personalities. They explore the Earth, and they just get to like find out what happened to different groups of people. Oh,
Yeah.
It's just so good. It's so
cats
Look
good.
at all
Sentient,
these
it's
rich
so
people
funny.
that went out on an
Spoilers.
oil rig. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and it's like what happened to the rich people, what happened to the really rich people, and stuff like that. Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Anyway, we don't know much about what's going back into core systems, but we do know one thing, motherfucker, and that's that the IMC are back, baby. They discover that in the absence, the seeds that they've planted are now flourishing into a set of colonies with a relatively small population, a fuckload of resources, and relatively little conflict as far as things go. Like, they're
Damn.
kind of just chilling.
Damn, that was lucky.
Yeah. I mean, they sent out a bunch of soldiers and warriors and gave them, like, hyper future tech to go farm. Like, I don't think they were going to have that much trouble.
A man of
However-
your talents, really? Farming? We were this close. This close to greatness.
Yeah.
I'm missing a quote, it's fine.
We're quoting Rogue
fine.
One.
Okay, that doesn't
We're
help me.
quoting the best Star Wars movie.
I think I have seen that.
don't
I
think
think
so.
I only just saw it once, though.
But
Anyway.
I've seen it.
I have seen it. Because of the fact that they've also found out that the colonists have found a bunch of resources, they declare eminent domain. Which, if you don't know what that is the process of the government saying, fuck you, that's mine now.
Ah.
So
For the
the
benefit,
IMC
usually
essentially...
for the benefit of all people. Usually.
It's the IMC. They're not doing it for the benefit of all people. They're doing it for the benefit of the core systems.
that's a corporation doing it. That's weird. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, it's because they technically did place all the terraforming stuff, place all the mining operations, place all the basic resources. Like they don't have not a claim. It's just that
Yeah.
they haven't been around for like 200 years. So I don't know,
Don't worry
man.
about it. Don't worry about it.
They sent massive fleets of ships and soldiers to establish manufacturing and mining operations, usually displacing frontier citizens in the process, which win for capitalism. That's a dub.
Yeah, what has
Anyway.
it been like? Wait, has it been 200 or 600 years since they've like had any contact?
200 at my guess. I think that there are numbers out there. I'm going to say 200 for the sake of my guess.
Yes, that's generations who have never heard from Earth, and even their parents probably have never heard from Earth. It's like going like, nah, it's
That's
mine
like
now.
great grandfather type shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, you guys live here? No, fuck you.
Nah.
Nah.
Anyway, after
God,
years
that's
of attempted
horrifying.
diplomacy, the citizens of the frontier, unsurprisingly, had enough. The children of these former soldiers united and took up arms to defend their home, creating the Frontier Militia, thus introducing our second major faction of most of this part of the lore, being the IMC versus the militia.
Fuck yeah.
This
Sounds
began...
like a very, very, very fair fight.
I know, right? I'm about to go into it. This
yeah, rise
started
up.
the... What?
I was gonna say,
Rise-
fuck yeah, rise up. I'm on the militia side. Until they do
Rise up,
something,
boy.
until they do horrific war crimes. Currently, I'm on the militia side. I can't wait for the war crimes.
How much does destroying a whole planet matter to you?
If it's against capitalism, it's worth it, baby. Let's go.
To be fair,
Dubs.
Don't worry. We'll get to it later.
All I'm saying is a big W and a big O for us and a big L for capitalism.
Jesus Christ. This began the Titan Wars. As we begin our... Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are on our final approach into the actual story of one of these games. The war takes place around 15 years before Titanfall 1. The Titans that I mentioned before as exosuits have evolved a bit in the time since and are now between 8 to 10 meters tall and are massive machines with rocket-assisted movement, making them extremely agile for their size, which means that some of the Titans in the game do some kung fu shit, which I fucking love. It's so cool.
Give me big robot boy.
Big robot.
Honestly, I totally thought you were going to say, give me big robot titties for a second.
Oh no. Some sport flamethrowers, some drills, guns, missiles, and some up to 50 centimeters of armor, which I saw someone comparing to a modern day tank on one of the wiki pages, which I found very funny. They were
I was gonna
comparing
say up to 50
a
centimeters of what?
400 plus
After-
year. 50 centimeters of armor is a lot, but also it's like 400 years of military development between current tank and mech suit.
Yeah, but can our
Yeah,
tanks
but, like-
do fucking karate, guy? No, I didn't think so. That's what they've been working on for a long time. Also, when you said 50 centimeters, I was ready for cock.
That
They
would be
got
pretty
big-
good. I wish.
Oh,
I'm sure it's
wow.
out there. Hey, Google's got you covered, man.
They're wielding some big, heavy machinery, and they're ready to give it to you. The IMC's coming for you.
We don't know much about the Titan Wars in their initial states, other than that the Frontier Militia had few, if any, Titans during the first years of the war. Confusing, but they relied instead on anti-Titan weapons, such as mag grenades and other electrical weapons, as basically disrupting the electrical system. You know, they're highly coordinated vehicles. If you can put a hole in that thing, it's coming down.
Nice.
However, they did likely lose this war. The IMC established a very strong foothold in the system. Another interesting note, capitalism, baby. IMC actually monopolizes the frontiers by creating a single refueling station along the traveled route between them, known as Demeter.
Demeter. Nice.
Hilarious note from this station. Do you know where the name Demeter comes from?
Because it's the meter where you fill up.
No, she's the Greek god of harvest and agriculture.
Ah, I see.
A very, green, sort of crunchy sounding name, right? Like, that sort of thing. Could either of you read the description I just sent into the Zoom chat? It's not Dementor. I know I've spelt it Dementor. I was spelling it Dementor for a good part of the script writing process until I realized it was Demeter. Don't worry about it.
Demeter like the Greek god? Goddess?
Demeter like the Greek
the
god that I
that's
just
the
talked
goddess.
about, yes.
Demeter orbited a dying red giant star which dominates the landscape. The planet's surface is a red-brown colour, indicating vast swaths of desert. Much of the rest of the landscape is either radioactive or covered in titanic industrial complexes.
Very green harvest
very
god.
green.
Very much what the Greeks meant when they were imagining what Demeter would want.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
Demeter,
wrong.
The
Harvest.
god of harvest. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it to
Doing
its
good.
extreme. I love it.
I
Anyway.
also like the fact that Superman would die here.
Why? Oh, radioactive?
No.
Oh, Red Dwarf Sun. Yeah.
Superman. The other reason Superman has powers because they have a yellow sun, and
true.
that's why people aren't Kryptonians aren't superheroes on their own world because they have a red sun around Krypton.
Yeah, that's right.
So
equivalent to that
humans. It doesn't make any fucking sense scientifically, but it does apparently in the DC universe.
I'm just thinking about how you could do that with humans, though. Like, does the water of this new place just naturally contain a fuckload of caffeine?
Fuck yeah. No, it's cocaine.
I'm always bombing. I'm always going, baby.
The air
That's a
has
good point.
cocaine in it.
We have no way of knowing if we actually could be superpowered people if we went to the right planet, you know?
You guys need to read Humanity Fuck Yeah. I think I've mentioned this in previous episodes.
I love Humanity Fuck
It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
It's great.
It's a bunch of, Matt, if you haven't heard of it, it's a bunch of headcanons where basically humans go into space and discover that they're the equivalent of like the fucking Predator. Like, there's other giant races, they got spikes on them, they got other sort of shit, but humans can't fucking die and can run for days at a time and have very good immune systems, and in that case, they just become crazy. Plus, then they go on to, like, pack bonding and other stuff that humans do, which is very cute in some of them.
I do think it's interesting. Like, humans do have like grown up and become like the dominant species on a planet that's been like survival of the fittest. I'd imagine there's other planets and other aliens that didn't come up with that environment. So like, I think it would be interesting that humans definitely could be very brutal and what people usually label as grabby aliens who have to take space because we're
a very naturally territorial species, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's and other aliens might not be the same.
One other one that I saw as well was that there was aquatic aliens, like never evolved to be out of water. So when humans can just like breathe air and just like create a gas that they can breathe, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's weird as.
Yeah.
It's great. Because the only way that they can terraform planets is by flooding them. And so they're like, oh, humans have got it fucking easy. We take like 400 fucking years to terraform planets. You guys can do it in like 10.
You guys can just come down and be like, this is mine now.
Now.
I'm still looking for my planet that the air is cocaine. But we'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually.
It's called Collingwood, Melbourne, mate.
Fair enough.
The dream, baby!
What follows the Titan Wars are many years of small skirmishes, including a lot of names and titles, which I find confusing, because I am dumb, and I don't read military things. Therefore, whenever there's a name with too many titles behind it, my brain just shuts down. I managed to get past it. The relevant parts form the story of Titanfall 1. So if you want to dodge spoilers of that specific game, turn off and come back. Do whatever. A note to make, though, is that Titanfall 1's
You're not giving them a
story is...
timestamp.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. The Titanfall's one story, I didn't realize this when I was initially reading it. It's formed around a series of multiplayer maps. You imagine you're playing Call of Duty on like specific maps, and all of a sudden there's like a pre-map cutscene that shows like a bunch of lore, and then the map's slightly different because it has a bunch of lore events going on, and then there's a different outro depending on which faction wins that is technically lore canon, and the rest of them just don't. It's just these specific modes. It's pretty good. It's pretty weird.
Good. Yeah, random.
Pretty,
but, like,
that's
cool.
I love that actually. That's like
It's
kind of
fun.
sick,
I mean, it
kinda
adds some extra flavor. I could imagine on repeat it would be pretty fucking annoying, but
Fucking cutscene again. Yeah.
That's true, but I love how they weave it into the lore and the thing. That's actually really interesting. I like that.
it's fun. No, it is interesting. As far as I can understand, the story is told through set pieces, voiceover, and there's also a companion app which you can link. I think you could link it to the Xbox. Anyway, doesn't matter. With that out of the way, basic story. The IMC, specifically Vice Admiral of the IMC, Marcus Graves, is harassing the first militia fleet, with the militia running low on supplies. The militia are performed to perform a daring raid on an IMC gas mining planet to refuel, escaping with just enough fuel to make it through another few weeks.
You know, I'm sorry, I have to do this, but
Go.
I can't do the voice, but the Empire is on the brink of destruction. The rebellion is on the run from them. Princess Leia has stolen the plans for the Death Star.
Motherfucker. And the worst part is that that's actually so right. You'll hear it in a sec. You'll figure out what I'm talking about. Anyway. The IMC next visits an unknown colony where defected executive officer of the IMC, James McAllen, crashed his ship and crew in order to avoid being pursued by the IMC. The IMC then uses combat droids to raid the town, which they then send out an SOS, which is discovered by the militia. The militia then makes contact with McAllen, and in exchange for evacuating the colonists, he provides schematics for the refueling station on Demeter. So they go to this planet and evacuate the colonists and escape with the blueprints for the main planet that the IMC uses.
That sounds really familiar. Oh, it's the Force Awakens. I know that movie.
Listen, I probably could have picked this if I'd actually watched Star Wars.
Many Titans died to get us this information. Many Titans fall to get us this information. Oh, it's right there!
Oh, I forgot to actually put this in the script. I realized this when I finished writing it. Titanfall references how Titans are deployed, because they're actually dropped from ships from not orbit, but certainly high up, so the Titans fall. It's pretty basic.
Fair.
It was Titanfall,
nothing.
Titanfall, we would tumble from the
honest.
sky to drop and kill you all together.
I'll be honest, I knew one thing about this game. I didn't even know what sort of game it was. I knew that they had Titans that fell from the sky, and that was it.
It's Titanfall, baby!
When a title is good.
I know, right?
Anyway, finding the schematics for Demeter is like massive. Obviously, it's the main refueling source for the IMC. It's like their weak point, essentially. It's their big glowing red button. But if the colonists can destroy this, the IMC is cut off from reinforcements, resources, and all other stores that are in the core system. That'd be pretty fucking good.
It's an open air vent, which if you shoot a torpedo down it,
Yeah.
destroy the entire...
Use the Force, Luke. That's...
Use the
Force,
Titan,
Ash.
God damn it. Having recruited McAllen, the Marauder Corps, which is a subdivision of the 1st Militia Fleet, made a move on Angel City, one of the largest settlements on the frontier. Side note, why the fuck do, like, space fantasy things have the coolest goddamn names for, like, cities? Like, Nowhere from Guardians of the Galaxy and Angel City? Like, we have Los Angeles, but that's in Spanish, so I don't understand that.
Yeah.
What, are you gonna say something, Matt?
No.
Tatooine, Jakku, Hoth.
Why does everyone want to go back to Jakku?
Anyway, unfortunately,
Let's always go to Jakku, never house Jakku.
Fuck's sake.
God damn it. They move on to Angel City in order to rescue Barker, who is a ex-IMC pilot, turned militia sympathizer, pilot for Titans, one of the best on the frontier. Unfortunately, Angel City does happen to be under the control of the IMC with massive walls, turrets, and security checkpoints, keeping everyone inside under martial law. Seems like a bad place to raid, but go on.
It's just Finn from The Force Awakens. This is just Star Wars. We can't just do Star Wars again.
I'm doing Star Wars,
What's
baby. It's the
happening?
only way I know how.
Oh my god, he's done it.
It was a joke the whole time. This was a Star Wars episode. I just reskinned everything. No. Throughout heavy skirmish, the militia does manage to extract Barker, who, side note, is drunk and still wearing his combat uniform despite being years out of commission. They also take down the IMS Sentinel, a massive carrier ship. I don't know what IMS stands for. I googled it for 2 hours. I don't know what it means. The best guess I had was interplanetary munitions ship or interplanetary something ship, which
Interplanetary machine service.
Yes. After this, the militia went on the attack, first taking Airbase Sierra, which was on one of the IMC bases on Dementor's moons. There are 4 of them.
Stop calling Dementor.
I've missed. As I said, I didn't realize it was called Demeter until later in the script, so there's a bunch of misspellings in this. I so apologize to anyone who knows shit about this. It's Demeter. It's Demeter.
Yeah,
nice
Dementors are pretty bad. At least the militia has a Patronus. So they got
Sorry, I'll try that again. It is nice to meet her.
Oh, fuck off. Demeter, I barely know her.
Badumtis. Destroying the airbase Sierra, they then moved on to the logistical heart of the IMC, Demeter. and destroyed it, crippling them for many years to come. If you're wondering why there's no details of these battles, it's because it was all part of the multiplayer missions, and therefore it depends on how they were played.
Yeah.
Canonically, we know who won, but we don't know the stuff that happened during it, because it's not a campaign, it's a context for multiplayer COD matches, essentially.
I like to imagine that in the when the right team wins, I don't know how it works, but when the right team wins, it gives you like a detailed lore drop or maybe a cutscene or something like that.
It does give you different things depending on who wins.
And then when the wrong team wins, it just goes, "You fucked up." The fuck, guys.
This is a canon event.
yeah. What's the guy at the Spider-Man 2099? Michelle O'Hara rocks up.
Michael O'Hara, yeah.
Michael O'Hara, you fucked up a canon event. What the fuck, kid?
Yeah,
you should have played better. Your kill to death ratio shit.
Your KDR sucks ass. Anyway. From this, the IMC goes into defense mode, building new operation bases on uncharted worlds on the edge of the frontier, but still having enough capacity to retake some fringe mining operations, and also attempting to assassinate a bunch of IMC personnel who defected. They also attempt their own Achilles-style operations, attacking smuggler bases, and also running prisons still. So they're definitely not down and out. It wasn't one strike KO. They're still the IMC. The militia, on the other hand, though, go from a loose band of rebels to a much more organized group with their own supply lines and hierarchy, and begin manufacturing their own Titans, ships, and other war munitions. We're going to war, baby.
Nice.
Not that we weren't already at war, kind of.
We're going
for that guerrilla warfare kind of thing.
We're going to formal war. We're going to real war.
That shit before, that was fake war. With a real war.
That was a bunch of fucking guys doing random shit. This is real. At the start of Titanfall 2, which is about 5 years after Demeter's destruction, the militia now own about a quarter of the frontier, like outright taken from IMC control. This then transitions us to Titanfall 2, which is the game that I like. I haven't played Titanfall 1 because I'm pretty
otherwise known as The Empire Strikes Back.
They don't actually. The rebels keep on striking.
Demeter, I Demeter again.
No, Demeter's gone now. Demeter's dead.
No.
There's no one on Demeter.
Can I ask? I didn't hear. Maybe I missed it. Did Demeter? How did they actually destroy the planet? What did they use?
I don't know. Didn't say. They found the schematics, and the schematics had something on them. I believe, to my memory, there were war game simulations that were played amongst the IMC, like Red Team, Blue Team, where they figured out that Demeter was a weak point, and so they re-fortified it, but it's possible that the war game, like, texts are still out there with details on, like, some immovable gas pipelines or something like that, that they would only know if they were IMC people, but that information got out. That's my sort of guess.
Yeah, because you just said they kept like all the fuel on one planet, so maybe that was enough to blow the whole
It's
thing
essentially the gateway to the rest of it. Like, it is the refueling station that the IMC can do, and because they are the IMC, there's no other competitors out there.
Yeah. When you put so much fuel in one place, it goes boom.
Yeah, unsurprising. I wouldn't be surprised. I probably should have watched the end of mission transitions for that fight, but oh well, too late. We're already in the episode.
God.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Titanfall 2 features Jack Cooper, which is a militia pilot who we play as for the whole game. He's great. I love him.
Jack Cooper.
Again, if you want to miss spoilers on this, stop listening now. Come back later. Come back later. Don't leave this podcast half listened to. Come back, please.
Go play the entirety of Titanfall and Titanfall 2, and then listen to the rest of the episode.
No, don't play them. It's fine. Just get spoiled. You'll still enjoy the game. The game is fucking sick. I want to emphasize this. Titanfall 2, the reason I like it is because it has some of the best fucking movement I've ever had in any video game. The whole game is focused on flowing wall jumps into wall slides, into double jumps, into slides, into like face kicks and shit like that. Transitioning straight into mech pilot bullshit. Like, it's a crazy fucking game. If you watch speedruns of most games, and it's like, wow, that's impressive. You watch speedruns of Titanfall 2, motherfuckers are going Mach 10 through the level. It's crazy.
So does it have a single player and a multiplayer?
Yes, it does. That's why it's worth it. Titanfall 2's multiplayer is very cool, but not a lot of people play it. I'm not sure if the servers are still up. I played it once. There were people playing. And I'm in Australia, so, like, there's not that many people.
Yeah. There's like 6 of us down here.
It's kind of quiet.
Sorry, there's 6 of us and a dog.
6 of us and a dog.
Don't spoil it. Australia's a real country,
spoiler,
guys. Don't
dog.
worry. It's a real country, and there's many people here.
Yes, it's very real. Anyway, the militia have decided the time is right. No, Australia's a real country because we have one Australian, a Kiwi, and an English person. That's why you know Australia is real.
Yeah, exactly. You've got three very well positioned people to be telling you about how real Australia is.
It's so funny because when I'm doing an episode, you can tell so clearly when I think of a joke because I have to cut the script and go to the joke, whereas other times I can be silent and then cut the joke in. Anyway.
I like how you were halfway through a sentence and then you realized the joke in your mind, stopped your sentence for law, and then went back for the joke.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, the militia has decided the time is right for Operation Broadsword. Let's go.
Yeah, it is.
This operation would see a massive push against the IMC forces, essentially forcing them back even further than they already were. The entire campaign focuses on... The entire campaign that we see focuses on one planet, because that's what Titanfall 2 takes place in. It is part of Operation Broadsword. It is implied there are many other planets being taken, obviously, but this one is of particular interest because it's Titanfall 2. Anyway, the planet we're focused on is Typhon. It's not Typhoon. There's no double O. It's one O. I swear to God.
That's cool.
Initial reports from the militia say that this planet is likely just a research facility without much in the way of defenses. Upon arriving to the planet, the militia notices, though, that the planet's moon, Orthos, has been reduced to rubble, forming like a belt around the planet.
How do you spell that?
Orthos?
Yes.
Orthros. Orthros, actually, Orthros.
Orthros.
Anyway, the actual planet itself is called Typhon, so the moon's not there anymore.
I was intrigued because it seems like they were doing a bit of a Greek myth kind of a theme here, but I don't know because I know it's Typhon, it's not Typhoon, but Typhoon is like a figure in Greek mythology.
It's quite likely, yeah. I don't doubt. I mean, they could be talking about Orthos. Isn't Orthos like a demon or something?
Can you send me that? Because I actually can't type it. Just everyone knows my PC is very glitchy right now.
Let me make sure it's the right spelling.
My keyboard's not plugged in.
It's a Greek mythology is the god of is a two-headed dog. There you go.
Press enter. Oh, well.
Anyway, I will say again, upon arriving on the planet, they notice that the moon is now dust. I then read...
Sorry, just...
What?
Matt's just said, I can't press enter.
I copied it in, put it into Google, and then I pressed enter, and then I realized, that's not going to work. How am I supposed to Google something if if I can't press enter and put it in? Jesus Christ.
Okay, that right there is a moment that's worth the Patreon to watch the video just because of Matt's sad little I can't press enter and a little thumbs up that he gave.
Fucking damn it. I was too busy looking at the Google page.
Very sad. I do like how they kind of continue the theme that we kind of like Uranus and Jupiter and Saturn. You know, they kind of like they're the Roman planets though, but still, maybe it's all Roman. Maybe Typhoon spelled that in Roman mythology. I don't know. Maybe. Sorry.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I'm gonna say it again because there's a bit that follows it. Upon arriving at the planet, the militia notices that the planet's moon is reduced to rubble.
Oh, I see.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which the storyteller gives advanced hints as to what is to come later in the story.
Is foreshadowing go?
Don't worry about it. The militia face
That's no moon. That's a pile of rubble.
That's a pile of rubble. The militia faces considerably stronger resistance than they ever could have anticipated, with the first waves either being destroyed or completely scattered across the planet of the surface. Jack Cooper is one of the first waves of troops, and upon dropping, comes into contact with his commander, Captain Ty Lastimosa, and his Titan, BT-7274, or BT for short. BT is the best character in the game.
Wait. The Titans are characters?
Yes, the Titan is a character. It has a personality. It's so good.
What?
At one point, he's like, Jack, you have to go into that dangerous facility. I cannot follow you, as my chassis is too big to fit through the door. Jack goes... Lucky you. He goes, sarcasm detected.
That's pretty good.
It's great. Anyway.
Jack, I'm sorry. But my giant ass cheeks has alerted the enemy. The clap of my metallic ass cheeks have alerted the enemy. We can no longer stealth. Prepare for combat.
Yeah. Lastimosa is quickly killed as the pair are set upon by some of the antagonists of the campaign, the Apex Predators. Cool fucking name. Which is a mercenary group working under the Ares Division, which is the research wing of the IMC, as we find out later. The three people that attack is Ash, the simulacrum I mentioned before. She's already here. Richter, a lieutenant, and Kuben Blisk, the commander of the Apex Predators.
Kuben Blisk?
Kuben Blisk. Kubenblisk.
I was thinking Jack Cooper was a fucking good name. Jack Cooper is such a good... I don't know. Jack Cooper's the kind of... do you think they sit down in, like... how long do you think they take to find out the name of, like, a protagonist? Like, Jason Bourne, Jack Cooper, James Bond. Who's the guy from...
It's not a good name if you don't remember it. Jack Sparrow.
I mean, Jack Sparrow is, like... yeah, pretty good. I was thinking
It's a good... What? Hold up. Explain to me why you don't think Jack Sparrow is a good name.
I didn't say it wasn't a good name.
You had reservations.
I didn't say it wasn't a good name. It's just not like a hero name. You know what I mean? Like,
no, he's not a hero.
But you have heard of him.
Sorry, Captain Jack Sparrow. You're quite right.
Captain.
Anyway, these characters were there to deal with Lastimosa, as he is one of the highest regarded members and pilots in the militia front. However, they leave the injured pilot Jack, as well as BT, because they presume that they're dead. Jack did get kind of beat the fuck up earlier, so yeah.
The cocky villain leaving them to live. God.
Oh, it's going to get worse in a sec. Awakening from a period of unconsciousness, Jack then finds Lastimosa still alive.
They didn't even finish the job.
They didn't kill him. They didn't kill his mech. They didn't kill the other guy. What the fuck were the three of them doing there?
These guys don't seem very good, but they still won. That doesn't reflect very well on this team.
No, it doesn't reflect well on the Apex Predators at all. They were all in fucking Titans as well. Like, it wasn't just like them.
If your name is the Apex Predators, you gotta finish the kill. I think
better than that.
I'm officially removing that title. They are now the Beta Predators.
Luckily, Lastimosa is mostly dead. He's about to die.
Okay.
In the last moments of his consciousness...
they're the Apex almost killers.
The Apex mostly killers. They'll die in a bit. Lastimosa then transfers ownership of BT to Jack before he dies. Little does he know the hell that he just unleashed on this planet, because Jack Cooper is one of the most bulletproof antagonists I've ever fucking seen.
He's Jason fucking Bourne. Jesus Christ, it's Jack Cooper.
An interesting bit of foreshadowing is that we do hear Blisk say that they're getting ready to deliver the Ark in less than a day, in 18 hours. Very mysterious.
No, Indy, you gotta stop him, Indy.
It's just Indiana Jones now. No. This begins Jack,
kid.
and by extension, the player's path of destruction across the planet. He first hits an IMC water reclamation facility, which is being attacked by the 2nd Militia Fusiliers. These soldiers are being repelled by the IMC defenses, though, until Jack arrives to fuck shit up, sliding straight through the defenses and killing the leader of the facility, Kane. He and BT are separated for part of the mission, regrouping for the final kill. Again, I'm going to jump over a lot of this, because a lot of it is gameplay, but the story parts are fun. Kane possesses a radio in his helmet, which Jack pilfers, allowing him to listen in on the enemy's communications, giving us further insights into why the fuck this out-of-the-way planet is covered in enemy forces. Now on his way to the main Ares facility, Jack makes a shortcut through the World Foundry, a massive factory that's producing war materials and also houses testing facilities for the Ares weaponry. Jack loses BT, again, and then has to sneak through the facility to rescue him from Ash. He follows the assembly line into a simulation arena before killing a lot of people and escaping back into the facility again. Ash then sets the factory to self-destruct, again, for one guy, intending to kill Jack and BT, as they're now a massive threat to Ares' plans.
It does seem to be that's a bit over the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can see why I call him one of the most bulletproof protagonists I've ever seen.
I'll be honest. I feel like you're jinxing yourself. You know what I mean? I feel like if there's a single person you're trying to kill, I don't care how good they are, you don't panic. Send a couple guys after him, put the odds against him. Just see if the odds are just in your favor. Don't try and make a hero scenario. You know what I mean? The moment you create a hero scenario, you know they're 100% going to live.
Well, one of the greatest bits is actually, I haven't put this here, but the way that BT and Jack get reunited is in the self-destruction of the facility. One of the walls explodes, and BT's just there. You just slide through the hole in the wall, and BT's just there waiting for you. It's great.
This fucking guy.
Anyway, once again, he slips away through the exploding facility. BT and Jack reunite before kicking Ash's ass and sliding away. I keep saying sliding because one of the core movement techs is sliding. It maintains a lot of speed, and it's one of the most satisfying things. So it's like subconsciously in my head as I was writing this, I just kept thinking about that sliding mechanic. It's butter smooth.
Exactly. I'm just imagining, and Jude's doing it now in the video. I'm just imagining, they're sliding everywhere, like they have they're doing like a dance move, or they're.
It's not
like
the fucking president from the Prime Minister from Love Actually. God damn it!
Oh my god, yeah.
Or like you like do like a power slide or like something like that, where you like kind of fell over but you slid across the floor and you put your arm out. Like it's kind of like that. That's what I'm imagining.
All right. Also, I've skipped over the design of Titans up until this point, which I'll quickly cover now just because Ash's was so cool I suddenly remembered I had to talk about them. Each follow a vaguely humanoid shape with very slim appendages and sort of a round, bulky body. The weapons are very interchangeable, but each chassis has an ability unique to it and suited to its speed, damage, and armor. Quick rundown of the basic chassis. The Atlas, which is a very base form, used a simple damage core, which just increases damage for a few seconds. It's the default one. It's the jack of all trades. It's the boring one. There's the Ogre, a heavily armored Titan, which is very slow but has a lot of health and can shield itself. There's
I'm an ogre.
There's the Strider, spelt with a Y. Speed-focused Titan with very little health, but all the fucking people who know how to play the game really well fucking love him because you can just like fly along in this goddamn Titan. It's scary as fuck. They use the dash core to give themselves infinite dashes for a couple seconds. You can dash in a mech, like it like jumps it forward. It's like just a movement thing. And then finally, the Vanguard, which is the first Titan produced entirely by the militia, but also featured heavily in the game because BT is one of these. It has a burst core, which basically means you reload your gun and then it dumps the entire clip in like half a second. It's an excellent ability.
So how do they use, like, you talk about the jump kits before. How do they use that? Does that boost them, or does that, like, is it a boost, or do they warp space to bring themselves closer, or fold space in?
Wait, which are you talking about? Jump kits? So jump kits. So jump kits themselves are called actually like a jetpack thing around people's waists. Jump cores are in the ships. That's what's used for interplanetary travel. Jump kits are essentially a waist belt that has rocket boosters on it.
It's like a little It's like a little jetpack.
Yeah, like a little jetpack that lets you like that's
the double jump unlock that I said.
It's the double jump. It's the wall sliding. It's all that sort of stuff.
Also,
I know what kind of jump you're talking about.
I have a picture of Titans. I'm gonna, for the layman's, I'm gonna give you, not really layman's, but
I thought you said lame mans. I'm like, yeah, mood.
For the layman's, I'm gonna give you. They're kind of like, if you look at BioShock, the big boys from BioShock. They're kind of like them, but if they were more Iron Man tech, they're very much like the Hulkbuster armor with big guns. Instead of plasma blasters, they just fucking got a big fucking gun.
Anyway. Yeah, they're great. They're great designs. There are an additional 2 variants per base chassis in Titanfall 2, each having a slightly different loadout. I'm not going through them. They all have different abilities. But the one that I will mention is the Ronin, because it's the one that Ash pilots, because it has a fucking sword. Let's go! Cool. Sword! Sword mech! It's so cool!
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's so cool!
Have you seen Pacific Rim?
No?
Oh my god.
I watched like half an hour of it. I got bored.
Oh my god. We need to sit down and watch Pacific Rim as a group. Oh my god. We're going to have the best fucking night.
But yeah, it's got a sword. Once again establishing that the sword is the best weapon humans ever made. Sharp stick. Sharp stick.
Sharp stick. Sharp stick.
It's great. Anyway. Jack kicks Ash's ass, slides away. Jack then arrives at the Ares complex, discovering a facility in ruins, which is very odd. Most of the rest of this planet, pretty well upkept. Smashed, overgrown, and filled with corpses that seem quite old. Especially considering the fact that Jack was supposed to be meeting a commander here from the militia. So what happened? As he moves around the facility.
Guy, we don't have the answers. It's your episode, Guy. Can you please give us
Don't worry, I'm giggling. As he moves around the facility, he receives visions of the past in which the facility was whole and staffed. BT advises Jack that there appears to be pockets of instability, causing rifts in time. He advises Jack to be cautious.
What?
There's time travel. As time travel again, baby. I get it every one of my fucking timeline
Why are we
videos.
doing
I always
this?
have to pick the complicated timelines. They always have time travel. Zelda, Call of Duty, this all have fucking time travel. I don't know how I keep doing it.
Okay, so...
Don't worry, I'll do Ben 10 next. I'll make it worse.
No, fuck off. Ben 10's mine.
I know.
What? Okay. So they're justifying them being able to tell the story of what happened here instead of doing like logs or security camera. They're just like, no, he can fucking see the past. Because
Not
he
quite.
can?
We do get some hints. Don't worry. It's kind of explained. It's kind of explained.
Yeah, but why though?
You know,
Because it's time travel. Don't worry about
though there is like theories that ghosts and like ghost phenomenon is just you people seeing into the past or the future. You know,
That is a phenomenon.
that's a theory. So
that is
maybe he's just a
Chris.
ghost.
Right.
Maybe Jack's a fucking ghost. That's my theory.
There's also an episode of Torchwood like that.
Nice.
That's
Kinda
cool.
It's a really good episode.
The Major that he was supposed to meet at the facility, Major Anderson, is found. However, he's in two halves, being split through the floor. Jack recovers a device from his hand, which gives him the ability to willingly move between the two, which leads to some very fucking cool parkour sections, where in the present, you can't get through a locked gate, and then you go... Oh, no, the past, you can't get through a locked gate, and then you go to the present, and it's ruined, but then the ruin, there's, like, no bridge, and then you press the button, and you go back to the past, and the bridge is back. So you're just, like, bouncing around. Sometimes you'll wall jump off the wall, switch timelines because there's nothing there, and another wall will come up and meet you. It's fucking sick. This level fucking bangs. What do you want?
That does sound kind of sick. Wait, did you say timeline or time period?
Timeline. There's two different... So, as my understanding of it, when you switch timeline to a different timeline, the first one stops. So, to me, it's not two contiguous things. It's like you jumping back and forth to, like, a paused point.
So you're... Okay, so you're pausing your point in time. You're like saving that point in time in space.
Correct. Your body
Going to this
disappears.
going to this different timeline,
Yes.
being there, doing whatever, and then when you press the button again, you go back to that point in time and space.
Point in time, not in space. You can move, but
So it's-
no one else does.
Kind of like Narnia rules on time.
I haven't
where
watched
you-
Narnia.
How the fuck have you not seen fucking Narnia?
That's a really weird one to avoid.
Fuck, man. Okay. In Narnia, as I described in the start of this, obviously it was so relevant. They go into the Narnia world. They're there for like 15 years, and then they come back to the wardrobe, and they're the same age. Is that
Yeah.
how it works?
Kinda. You keep your health. Everything about your body is kept. It's just that nothing else changes.
What?
What do you mean? What are you whatting about?
I don't know. I'm confused, guy.
Yeah, so the time travel device seems to be able to take all of your stuff and your armaments with you. At one point, you can also jump into BT and take him with you. So it extends to stuff that you can touch, but not things that aren't animate, but also that doesn't include mechs, because you don't take the floor with you, but you do take the mech with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
I don't
so
know,
telling me I
man.
could just grab the... Okay.
I just think that's where they bend the rules so everyone's not fucking nude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm going to
So
say
I,
something.
so I respect the Terminator. It's
gonna
real
say
time
s-
travel. They
say
can't time
something.
travel robots, so they have to put a human skin over them. But the only thing that'll go through is the human skin, and then he doesn't bring his clothes with him, so he's fucking nude when he time travels.
They're all naked, yeah.
He's fucking.
I'm going to say something really bad here that isn't going to make either of you happy. The time travel isn't that relevant to the story.
Cool. I had a feeling that was going to be the case, not gonna lie.
Cool. Well,
Matt's saying cool, but he
hate it.
looks frustrated.
I can just see the steam exploding out of Matt's eyes right now.
Anyway, the past that he travels from is shortly before the destruction of Typhon's moon. So he's going back and forth from current day to just before that destruction. This is where the rubber meets the road, because he's just wandering around a research facility, hearing the scientists talk. And as Jack discovers that the IMC found alien technology on this planet. This includes the Ark, which is shown to be a fucking incredible power source, and the Fold weapon, a super weapon capable of destroying planets. This does explain the destruction of the moon, as it was a test firing of a simulation kind of, how do I say this? Like a smaller recreation of the Fold weapon. You're frowning, Matt. What do you want? Yeah, they just shot at the moon. Yeah, they shot at the moon.
Yeah, that can't affect anything on the planet. What the fuck? Yeah,
Don't worry
that'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
It's a cool set piece, all right?
Maybe it was a misfire.
I just realized this, and I hate to fucking say it. I really do.
Okay.
I really do. They've just made it more Star Wars. There's aliens here now. They have a super weapon that can destroy planets. And I just realized it. Star Wars has a subplot in Rebels, one of the things, where they can fucking time travel and get pulled from one point and go back to another point in time, and then it's not relevant at all to the plot of the main plot.
One difference, one similarity. Difference, no aliens here currently. They're all dead. Similarity, they did find all the technology in, like, a swampy area, which I think that's a Star Wars thing.
It's fucking Dagobah, yeah.
I'll go with it. I don't know.
Anyway. That is a swamp.
There's a swamp planet, yeah.
Hey, I don't know. You gotta forgive me, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyway, the full capacity of the weapon would require uniting the full-size Fold weapon, which is basically the size of, like, mountains, and the Ark, which is the alien power source that's been discovered. This means that the conversation that Jack first heard was the Apex Predators discussing basically deploying nukes times 1,000. So he quietly overheard, minor genocide discussions. Don't worry about it.
I'm sure it's all fine.
How big are these weapons? Like,
the test version of it that they fire at the facility is like maybe 100 meters by 100 meters, like a sphere of rings that all rotate around each other. The actual version of it, like, it's the size of a mountain. It'd be like 600 by 600 meters. Like, it's a massive fucking orb.
Okay, so it's not like I can hold it in my hand. That's like...
No. Even the Ark itself is still like a meter sphere.
So it's kind of similar to the Death Star. It's like you do have to build it. It's a big building.
You do actually have to put effort in to make your suit work.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Unfortunately,
it reminds me of
the
some
time
sort
travel
of,
device
super,
does just sit up. Sorry, go.
It reminds me of some sort of super particle accelerator. You know what I mean? You charge something up so much energy, then you throw it at it, then it explodes. You need space for that.
The time travel device does fit on the back of Jack's hand, but don't worry about it.
Of course it does.
Anyway, quickly traveling to the past, Jack fiddles with some consoles and overloads the test firing of the small version, leading to the time travel device malfunctioning or something, because now time's frozen. Jack parkours his way over to the currently misfiring test small version of the Ark, and just parkours his way inside it to get a scan of the Ark, so that he can check out this energy system. Again, there's a lot of cool set pieces in this game. He reveals it as the power source. BT realizes what's going on with the destruction of the planet. They go, fuck, we gotta get back to militia forces so we can report this.
Yeah.
They get out of the time stop by touching the Ark, and everything goes white, and then Jack's lying on his back kind of a little bit away in the present, and time's going again. Yeah, I don't know. It's in a blackout. We don't need to know how it happened. BT's a space wizard. Don't worry about it.
I am 100% believing that BT is a space wizard. That's how I'm going to justify it. BT,
sense.
the Titan, has become sentient and is a space time traveling wizard. That's my conception.
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
Jack reunites with more militia forces, leading to a number of missions informing the home base of Harmony, and before long, they've traveled through a bunch of area and gotten to the IMC airbase, which ends in a chase between the IMC-controlled IMS Draconis, which is a massive, gigantic airship, and the militia's fleet of Widow and Crow dropships. This part of the game is, again, sick. Another cool fucking set piece. You're parkouring between midair, flying along ships as this tiny little fucking guy, like, just being thrown between ships and stuff. It's great.
It sounds... And also, every one of those names, super sick.
Yeah.
Very good naming concept.
Another cool name, you get pulled off the final ship at the end of this battle by Viper, a member of the Apex Predators. During that fight, though, BT loses an arm and has to secure the Ark inside his chassis after they've taken it from the Draconis.
My boy.
Yeah, BT's a little wounded. BT's worried.
Okay, can I double check? I missed that.
Yeah.
What is the Ark again?
The Ark's the power source that was created by the aliens that is going to be used to power the Vault device.
Sorry, I totally missed that.
No, all good.
The super alien power source makes total sense. I'm on board again.
I said it. It looks like a big glowing orb of light. It's about a meter by a meter sphere. Don't worry about it.
I won't worry about it at all. Totally.
I've already forgotten it, in fact.
You should worry about it because after they are injured after this battle, Jack and BT are captured by Commander Blisk and his men and taken to the location of the Fold device, being held prisoner. Of course, we all know what happens when you get the protagonist and his Titan and put them together in your base. They escape.
You fail to kill them and they escape. Yeah.
Yes, cool. Correct.
And the entire place explodes in a really cool explosion.
We're getting there. He escapes with BT's data core because BT's chassis is now damaged and uploads it into a new chassis, giving BT a new body. Don't worry, his arm's not broken for long. We don't have to worry about BT, guys. He's fine. And then they head to the final confrontation. He defeats the Apex Predator's second in command, and then Jack and BT are stuck in the control room as the Ark is inside essentially a cannon being ready to be fired into the Fold weapon to start the initialization sequence.
That's a pretty good delivery method, honestly.
It's really cool. They are badly injured again. Jack is on his back inside BT, and we see Kuban standing on top of BT, basically talking to his... how do I say this? Employers, going, yeah, got him, don't worry about it. To which I think they go, hey, we need his body, and he goes, wasn't in the contract, bye, and leaves.
No way he leaves them for dead again.
He leaves them for dead again. To be fair, the Fold weapon's about to fire.
That's true. What possible hope could they have of escaping?
We've seen this man escape everything. This man escaped like an entire the biggest facility explosion. This man escaped 3 of these guys killing him. They didn't finish him off. What the fuck? Come on, guys. Do you want it to get worse? This is the whole thing. This is the whole James Bond thing. So you expect me to talk? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. You know, like they just leave them. Come on, this is Villain 101.
How does it get better, guy? How does it get better?
You're not even ready for this.
It's like a monologue, you know?
After Blisk leaves, BT stands and tries, with Jack inside him, to pull the Ark from the cannon. But unfortunately, as they do that, the cannon fires. The Ark is now in the Fold weapon. The Fold weapon is beginning its warm-up sequence to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Natural progression from this, BT climbs into the cannon and fires himself into the Fold weapon.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
With Jack still inside.
Oh, yeah!
That seems like a very logical thing to do, yeah.
In quite an emotional moment, and a quite dangerous gambit, BT then throws Jack out of himself into the air, saying...
How high?
A couple hundred meters.
Oh, no.
BT has a great final line, which is, I think it's like, first protocol, must protect pilot. Goodbye, Jack. And then you see him pull you and then just fucking yeet you into the atmosphere.
Yes, I am protecting you. Get fucked, loser.
And then you see BT just ragdolling into the center of what looks like a massive fucking explosion as the arc weapon's about to go off. It's great. The Fold weapon then misfires. Not entirely at the same time. It goes unstable for a minute, giving Jack just enough time to parkour off a bunch of rubble and then jump into an airship before then warp driving out of there.
How did this fucking guy land?
He didn't land. He stayed in midair. There's bits of
He
rubble
parkoured.
because the fold weapon is causing gravitational disruptions. So you're just jumping off midair bits of wall rubble.
That's like the most sensible thing you've said the whole episode, actually.
Again, another crazy cool set piece for the game. It's so much fun.
I hate how that kind of could happen, but just because you just say gravity's messing, no.
It's a planet-destroying beam, Matt. Mm-hmm. You gonna contradict it, huh? Do you know the science of super weapons, huh?
No, sorry. I actually do know the science of super weapons, but I'm a bit behind on my science of super weapons with a giant power source created by aliens that can also have worked out time travel. I'm a little behind on my notes.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, sorry guys.
The weapon then misfires as the ship has warped into atmosphere, resulting in the whole fucking planet blowing up. As the militia make a hasty getaway. The battle was unsurprisingly declared a militia victory. All of what I just told you about Jack Cooper happened in under 18 hours. Actually, a bit over 18 hours. Call it 18 and a half.
I like Jack Cooper.
Jack Cooper's cool. There's also a training montage at the start, but we won't go into that. It's okay.
This man, I think, has to go on the list of the most incredible normal people of all time.
He's a soldier from the future, but he's like a rebel soldier from the future. He's not genetically enhanced. He's not anything else.
Dude.
And like you might say, oh, he's got a mech. It's like, no, half the time he doesn't. He just has like a belt jetpack. That's it. I'm
honest. Honestly, the times he doesn't have a mech, he does way better.
Yeah.
Every time he had the mech, he lost, and then the mech won it for him. Every time he did have a mech, he insanely did well.
At the very start of the game, he's about to be eaten by Column space tigers, and then BT just sits up and fucking.
Nice.
So BT saves Jack Cooper more than enough times. After this, the IMC's forces on the frontier collapsed and militia was declared victorious. Some period of time after this, the final battle of this war was the Battle of Gridiron, which is reported to have started both a blackout. What that means, I'm not sure. Possibly a communications blackout. But no survivors, no one else came out of it. The Battle of Typhon happens in the year 2715, with the victory coming a bit of time after this.
Did you say no one survived the entire battle, or just one side?
No one survived the Battle of Gridiron. There no reported survivors.
Could be some sort of thing like a black hole.
It could be. That's
Maybe
a fair
they actually
point.
made a black hole, and that's why no one survived, and that's why it's blacked out, because of the black hole.
I suspect that system would then be written off. There'd be pretty strong evidence of that. I don't know. That might be the case, but I haven't read up on the Battle of Gridiron a lot.
That's fair.
The Battle of Typhon happened in the year 2715, with the victory coming an unknown amount of time after this. Both factions then seem to sort of disappear, weirdly, except for some small pocket groups, but mostly leaving the frontier to govern itself. With the IMC's jump station deployed, they're no longer connected to the core systems, and the IMC probably don't have a lot of interest in trying to retake it. Unfortunately, most of the planets in the frontier are now pretty barren, considering the fact that war went on for a very long time. It's pretty bad out there. In the 20 years after this, though, guess who reappears? It's Coupon, baby. Coupon Blisk reappears and becomes
back, baby.
the host of the Apex Games, a blood sport which Apex Legends is set in. As for now, that's the overarching story of the setting, Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2. There's many smaller stories to go over, which I didn't have time to cover, or didn't want to cover. There's a fuel which can only be sourced from the edges of black holes. There's Marvin robots, which are mobile robotic versatile entities, and some other weird technologies. But for now, that's all I'm going to cover with the Titanfall universe.
Fuck yeah.
Did anybody have any fun questions about mech fun time land in space?
Yes.
Yes.
So, the Fold.
Yes.
The Ark was shot into the Fold.
Yes.
it was gonna destroy the militia forces.
It was going to shoot at the home planet of Harmony, which is the main
Right.
militia forces base.
I gotcha. And then then BT managed to do like the really slim misfire by
And managed
going
to
okay.
Shoot it back at
So
the
he
planet, the whole
basically-
planet.
Yeah, cool. So he basically just shot himself into like the power core of it, where the arc
Basically,
went, I
he
guess?
face planted directly into the Ark, yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay, nice.
So
Do
as
we
far
know,
as...
is the arc destroyed or is the arc just left there in the rubble, or do we not know?
The planet's fucking
There's
gone.
not a lot of rubble left. It's very destroyed. So as far as we know, it's gone.
Okay.
It could have been blasted into space.
Because like you're describing the arc as like a glowy thing. How?
It still has to have
How-
mass if it could be shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
There
it's
is,
not just
I will
like
say,
glow juice.
no. There is a lot of stuff going. Like the thing we hear Kuben say before he like disappears away after killing Jack's mentor, Lastimosa, is we need to prepare the Ark for transport. So it's not like a chuck it in a crate, roll it around type shit. It's not just a
Right.
ball.
Yeah,
it
okay.
does take specialized machinery to move
Gotcha.
around.
Didn't B2 just put it in his chest?
Yeah, it's chest cavity. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a robot, so
What does that fucking mean? What do you?
He's a robot, so
Even if I had to pack
He's
up
a
my
space
home
robot.
to move somewhere, I'm saying, yeah, let's get it prepared, put it in the boxes, and let's move it properly. Let's put some stuff around it. It's
But
I think it's-
as a mech, he does have a space in his chest for special storage of usually a little squishy human that's going to combat.
a
So
little guy.
maybe the Ark just sits on the chair.
it's just,
He puts
so it
the
has
seatbelt
mass.
on
it's
it.
only like a guy said it was like a meter by a meter. It's not that big.
It's not that big, no. It's
I'm
like
not
when you put the
saying it's
TV
that
in the back
big.
of your
I'm
car and
saying
put some
I think it's just a
seatbelts
normal
around it.
ball. I think it's just a ball.
Well, okay, counterpoint. I can transport my TV by putting it in the back of my car and putting seatbelts around it.
Yeah.
Should I do that?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I do that without
Questions
the
well.
without the seat without the the seatbelts.
The seatbelts. You
Yeah,
just sit it
gonna
on your
say.
back seat.
Yeah.
Matt defied when I witnessed Matt moving house. He defied a whole bunch of the usual rules of and laws of physics that I would take into mind when moving stuff in cars. And you know what? It all worked out well. So I'm like,
I just put thing in car, drive to place, take thing out of car, put it away. See? It's Look at all
perfect.
that shit.
Nothing-
It's so messy. I feel sorry for anyone who has to watch this. It's still so messy behind there. And look, even my posters haven't even gone up yet. You can't even see, but I have a bunch of fictional posters, fictional maps. But anyway,
Fictional worlds?
fictional
fictional
world maps.
posters. They're fake
Fictional
posters.
No, they're fictional worlds. It describes how wonderful and
Ridiculous they
mischievous
are.
they are.
Yeah. How wonderful and ridiculous they are.
Oh, I said mischievous. That's all right.
My last question.
Yes.
So Ash, so she just sticks around in the timeline, or is the version of her in Apex Legends like another simulacrum?
So, that's actually an interesting point. As far as we know in Titanfall 2, she died. But she didn't, because they wanted her to be in Apex Legends. So they kind of revived her, and because she's a simulacrum, they can kind of re-upload her onto a new body. The thing with fucking Spectre, what's his goddamn name? I can scroll up now because we're actually not rolling through. I don't need to keep my spot. Fucking
Is Spectre the guy who kind of like lived for 300
Assassin
years?
dude.
the assassin guy. He gets revived like a lot of times because it's actually really funny. One of the things is that he also says that he wants to die, but he can't because his brain and head are kept separately to the rest of his body. So his robot body can die, but they'll just remote code upload his brain back to another body, and it doesn't need to be anywhere near the head.
Yeah, damn.
I think just do a
kinda
bad
metal.
job and they'll eventually kill you.
But yes, Ash, as far as I'm aware, I don't know what her setup is with her flesh, brain, and body, but she's uploaded, as far as I'm aware, to a new body, or the old body's repaired, and that's what we see in Apex Legends.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good.
Because BT
Or-
did just
yeah.
squished him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, sounds like she got pretty fucking murdered.
She did.
Am I incorrect? I remember doing my research. There are a lot of other factions.
There are, but they didn't kind of form the main part. I was leaving them because Apex Legends also doesn't have a massive long story. Like the characters have stories, so I was kind of leaving it for that episode. There are other groups, and there's also subgroups. I mentioned the Marauder Corps who are underneath the militia, but like Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The primary ones that matter to this are the IMC, Hammond Robotics, who created IMC, the Militia Corps, the Marauder Corps, and the Apex Predators. Those are the main 5 sort of groups. Even Hammond Robotics doesn't matter that much unless you care about the history. But yeah. It's arbitrary. I'll get back to it.
I do like the idea in the future that, like, instead of building like new ways for war, new ways to like conquer things with, think about a robot. You can make it any shape, any size, do anything, right? Nearly anything. They just were like, nah, we're gonna make it like a big person. We're gonna put someone in it, and they're gonna drive it. You know?
Yeah,
I just love that idea.
They used robotic drones at one point in Titanfall 1. I don't know why they're not more common. Because like the only like Militia, it makes sense. They live there. IMC, I'm questionable about that.
Well, hey, look at the effectiveness of Jack Cooper alone. So maybe they're just doing something right.
Maybe there's something about humans. They got the certain je ne sais quoi.
I do have one last question, Jude.
Go.
Guy, sorry.
No, it's all right. Call me Jude.
Yes, I know. I know the
I'll take
answers
his
to
name.
Titanfall. Don't worry about it.
My last question is, if viewers enjoy this episode, where can they support us?
I think that honestly going on to Spotify and leaving a review is a really good idea. Depending on how much like Jack Cooper you are and how likely you are to just slaughter an entire capitalistic or attempted overthrow of your galaxy, that'll depend on the number of stars you give us.
Based.
5 stars, like you're jumping out of that fold weapon like intact.
I think the number of stars directly corresponds to the amount of bullshit you can get away with. So, like, if you're 5 stars, you're Jack Cooper level bullshit.
It's the amount of time travel that you can summon spontaneously for your aid.
The amount of time travel that just spontaneously appears around you.
Yeah.
The amount of Titans you can pilot at once.
The amount of Titans you can you can fight 5 whole Titans at once.
I'm co-piloting them like they're fucking 2 bikes I'm riding at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You got one on each leg, one on each arm, and one on your head. You're just like, yeah.
Other places you can follow us include TikTok for edited shorts, Facebook for delicious community content. We're setting up Discord and Reddit as expected. Twitch for some possible lore writing things and also just fucking around on games sometimes. And Patreon if you really. I'm trying to think of a joke to do with the simulacrums that had boobs, but I can't figure it out.
If you want,
you get one of them.
Extra content and help us keep doing what we're doing. You know, help us support and give us that extra boost.
That's too wholesome. That's
I'm
too genuine.
I'm actually very keen to see some random people jump onto the community Discord. To be honest, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, and also we're also on Instagram and Threads, just for more communication, more behind the scenes and stuff like that. So yeah, just anywhere. Also, we're also uploading these to YouTube with also the shorts that we're also doing on TikTok. So support us everywhere and whatever makes it easier for you guys to listen. We're here.
Hell yeah!
And we'll see if we one day get a more condensed, whittled down version of saying all of this rather than awkwardly going, "Hey, you could follow us."
Well, the best thing you can do is enjoy, you know, just listening to this and making us feel good and telling your friends about it and listening together in a cute little party and setting the candles up and
Discord.
Doing
Rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
And setting up and having cute little dinner with your friends, listening to Living by the Law.
Yeah, we're good dinner content, I think.
When the episode is done, just drifting off to sleep. Good night, listener. And may all your Titans fall.
I hope you get some good REM sleep.
And good morning.
You've woken up. Hello, sir.
It's had your whole nap all at once. It's time to fall, Titans!
Sir,
I love when
you've been asleep for so long. It's 2,700. The Titans are falling. Ah!
Good, you're finally awake.
It's raining Titans. Hallelujah. It's raining Titans.
Thank you for listening to Living by the Law. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave a review on iTunes and tell your friends. The link is in the description, and thank you in advance. Also, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Living by the Law to keep updated on the latest about our podcast. We have been, and always will be, living by the law. Thank you for your company, and good night.